Does the person you are with encourage you to read? You have to ask, what does he bring for me? Roses or books? If someone has a stake in making you better, that person will push you towards books. Books are what we all need.
He defines Maya as whatever you see, think or hear is Maya. And then he says, in a word, woman and gold is the covering of Maya. So, वहाँ पे वो भी लिखा था, oh my God, keep my mind off woman and gold. So, discussion चल रहा था कि man and gold क्यों नहीं है, woman and gold क्यों है.
He is talking to a man. Most of the world's spiritual literature is addressed to men, though truth has nothing to do with gender. But the approach to it depends upon who is walking. And because historically it's mostly the men who have shown an urge and eagerness, or let me put it this way, because it is the men who have shown an eagerness via the scriptures. So the scriptures are mostly addressed to men. That has to be kept in mind.
Isn't it that for women the condition is women are helpless, hopelessness, condition for women in field of spirituality?
If most of the medicines are targeted at men, does it mean that women are exceptionally sick?
But when this discussion was going on, he said that you said it earlier that the condition for women is hopelessness.
For women, it is not really the scriptures that work so much, because the world is a lot more physical for them. Hence, the path for a woman is a little different. While scriptures are surely relevant and useful to her, but she also needs a more personal touch. That is changing, because today's woman is not the woman that she has been historically.
Is that so?
See, there are, if you look at the religious scriptures, there are lots of scriptures of the path of knowledge, Gyan Marg. But relatively few scriptures of the path of devotion. And even when there are scriptures related to devotion, they are not as systematic, as methodically laid out as the scriptures related to knowledge. For a woman, the path of devotion is far more easier, far more natural to her being. And in the path of devotion, scriptures do not really carry much weightage. They are useful, but they do not really carry much weightage. And where the scriptures carry a lot of weightage, there you will not find many women. There you will only find a crowd of men. So it is obvious that in the scriptures you will only have injunctions pertaining to men.
Sir, isn't it that by woman he's trying to say that woman is more physically related, so a man can also have a woman inside, as in material base?
Does he understand the difference between the mind of the man and the woman? A man wants a lot. His urge is quantitative. He wants this, he wants that, he wants that. Numbers matter a lot to man. A woman also wants a lot. Both are conditioned to want. Both are conditioned to desire. Both desire. But the woman's urge is qualitative. She would want one thing and want it deeply. And by man and woman, obviously I am not referring merely to bodies. I am referring to mental types. You can have a woman in the body of a man and a man in the body of a woman. So there is a mind that says I want a lot in terms of numbers. And then there is a mind that says I want one thing but I want it completely. Don't you see this happening? There would be the man who would be controlling 1,000 things. And there would be the woman who would be controlling just the man. He is controlling 1,000 things. Quantitative is his approach. And the woman is controlling just one thing and controlling completely. Woman is easily satisfied. If she can get that one, then she is not very ambitious. The wars of the world have not been fought by women. She is contented with her man, her kids, if everything is alright there, then she won't say that let's go and raid the neighboring state and get some gold. Are you getting it? Both are conditioned, but the direction of conditioning, the direction of desire is a little different. So the methods applicable to them, their journeys have to be different, have to be separate. Because a man is more concerned with this and that, so he must proceed through this and that. A lot of reasoning, a lot of argument, a lot of explanation. A woman is more concerned with love. Obviously, because her mind is conditioned, so the desire for love becomes distorted, impure, evil, and takes 1,000 ugly forms. But whereas the man would not feel contented without understanding, the woman would not feel contented without love. The woman would not ask, what is it, how does it work, what is God like, what is truth like. It's sufficient for her if she feels a certain closeness. So scriptures that way have to be man-centric. Kindly don't think that I mean that women do not need scriptures. They do. They really do. But man needs them more badly. The barrier that a man faces right in the end is the woman's first barrier. That is why for a woman it is so difficult to begin the journey. That is why you find so few women who take to the path of truth. For a man it is easy to begin. But in the end, he faces a great barrier. The woman faces that barrier right in the beginning. But if she can overcome that barrier, the rest of the journey is very easy. That barrier is the primitive, fundamental conditioning. That barrier is what you are born with, your deepest vritti, the body itself. Man feels restless. He quickly quits the house. For the woman, this barrier is very difficult. She does not quit the house so easily, and that is why her journey does not even begin. And the house symbolizes the body. Do you know what are these walls that you see around you? These are an extension of your body, material. They enclose you just as the body does. For man it is easy. For woman it is very difficult. Her body is such that her identity gets deeply linked to it. So she does not even begin the journey. But if she begins the journey, her first step will be to challenge the body itself. She will have to do stuff that challenge her very womanly identity. Lalla is the most obvious example. A man has to give up on greed, on this and that. A woman has to give up on the feelings related to the body, on all the assumptions and other stuff related to the body. Leaving the house for her is like becoming naked. And then the rest of the journey is very easy for her. So if you can have a woman who can drop her physicality, who can get rid of the basic womanness, then you have a great saint in front of you. The man needs to surrender right in the end. The woman needs that right in the beginning. In that sense, something very interesting is evident. The man who seeks the truth must avoid women, just as you just read Ramakrishna saying. Interestingly, the woman who seeks truth must also avoid women, her own womanness. That makes the statement applicable to both the genders. The man needs to drop the woman, and the woman also needs to drop the internal woman. The man needs to drop the woman slowly, quietly, because it's a big obsession with him. The woman needs to drop the woman completely and right in the beginning. Because if you are a woman, rest assured, your journey will not even begin. There is enough in your body to keep you captured for your entire life. Enough. The world will keep you reminding of your body. Your physical processes will keep you reminding of your body. Then pregnancies will keep you reminding of your body. Then kids depend on your body for their survival. They will keep you reminding of your body. Even to take the first step, you will have to get rid of your womanness. The man has no such obligation. He can continue to be a man and walk a fair distance. He'll have to drop his manness in the end. And mostly he will fail. Everything is dropped. But the one who was dropping everything so boldly and valiantly was a man. Now how to drop this man? Are you getting it? Man takes great pleasure in attacking, in shredding things down, which is the process of niti niti. The man is born with a sword. So he can attack and kill. And he is carrying his sword, his instrument, right till the end. But the end demands that the instrument itself be dropped. This I, this man who dropped everything, now he also needs to be dropped. And there man gets stuck. If a society can be created in which it is easier for women to be freed from their body and from their house, then you will see many more women in the spiritual dimension. And the more you have a society in which women are treated and taught as objects and are confined to the boundaries of the household, the less is the possibility of women emerging spiritually.
I'm imagining what you could be like a spiritual woman. We don't have any example.
You have Meera, you have Lalla. They are hardly like women. A woman for you is someone who would attract your internal man. Meera would not attract your internal man. She would scare him. And if Meera does not scare you, go to Lalla. Let the naked Lalla walk into an assembly of men and see what happens. Not that they would pounce upon her. Oh, she's naked. No. The assembly would be vacated in no time. You would have men running away in all directions. No man can tolerate a woman who is no longer a woman. If the woman is not a woman, then she is attacking the man to not to be a man. His manhood is in danger. You are the most manly with women who are most womanly. Are you not? If a non-woman comes to you, you will have to become a non-man. And that is such a threat. You will run away. A naked lalla beats your manhood out of you. Isn't it surprising? Your normal household woman, she is clad in 15 clothes. 15 types of clothes she is wearing and hiding everything that can be hidden. And yet you look at her and feel sexually aroused. And Lalla is absolutely naked and you look at her and all excitement vanishes. You run away. You cannot tolerate a naked lalla. Now in Kashmir they have this myth, I am told, that she was not really naked. That she had very, very long hair and that would cover her entire body. So she was not naked at all. She was wearing garments of her own hair. So what does it mean to drop women? It means to not to look at them as women. It does not mean that I will not talk to them or avoid their company. Yes. I no longer look at you as a woman. That is what is meant by real sexual abstinence. I do not look at people in terms of their gender. We had a lot of rabbits in the office a couple of years back. The incident pertains to that time. We had a visitor and he came to the office and he started picking up the rabbits one by one and started ascertaining whether they are male or female. This is the mind that is obsessed with sex. You look at everything in terms of gender. Even a rabbit is not a rabbit for you. It is a male or a female rabbit. And I've heard this question asked by so many people. They would come and they would look at the rabbit and say, male or female? Now, is that the only thing that comes to your mind when you look at anything? Next time I show you a stone, you will ask male or female. Next time I give you some water to drink, you will say, give me some female water. And horribly enough, all his announcements regarding the gender went wrong. The ones he pronounced as female were actually males. The gender obsessed eye will not know anything, will not even know the gender.
is it possible for a non-woman and a non-man to be together?
Only possible for a non-woman and non-man to be together. Man and woman are never really together. They are all the time trying to conquer each other, get something from each other, are insecure about each other. Togetherness cannot come with possessiveness, aggression, and insecurity. Togetherness can only be there when the man is not a man, the woman is not a woman. Is it not evident? You look at the whole history of spirituality. The men that you see there may be very, very bold, infinitely courageous, but they have a feminine look on their face. There is something about them that is not macho. Deep fearlessness sits in their heart, but it is not a fearlessness of the manly kind. Ramakrishna is himself a very good example. You won't look at Ramakrishna and say, here comes a bold, great man. He is quite feminine. The spiritual man gets a tenderness, a softness, which has a feminine touch to it. He becomes a non-man. At the same time, the spiritual woman gets a directness, a deep understanding, a sense of not clinging, a detachment which is not womanly at all. The typical characteristics of women will not be found in the spiritual woman. She loses her womanliness. The spiritual man becomes a non-man. The spiritual woman becomes a non-woman. And that would even be evident in the way they walk, eat, live. Even in the physical characteristics.
Even about Sri Ramakrishna, we know that he practiced diverse methods. So one of it is said somewhere that he also practiced the
That's an exaggeration.
But symbolically,
There is a group in Bengal, or there used to be, they call it Sakhi Samudaya. They all live and act as if they are the wives of Krishna. So even men in that community act like women. So it is said that when Ramakrishna joined that community, even physically he developed characteristics of womanliness. The boldness of a Jesus is not masculine boldness. He does not stand and shout at the top of his voice. He is standing in front of a crowd and they are killing him. Yet he is unfazed. But this is not a masculine boldness. You look at his face, there is a tenderness. His face is not that of an aggressor. He is very handsome. Do you know when a man looks handsome? When he gets something of the feminine. Test it out. The people you call as handsome would have something about the feminine about them. Without that feminine quality in your eyes, in your mind, you cannot look handsome. And a woman rises from being an object of lust to a deity worth worshipping when she loses her womanliness. When a man loses his manliness, he becomes handsome. When a woman drops her womanliness, an even greater miracle happens. Now you do not feel like embracing her in lust. Now you can drop at her feet. Look at a statue of Kali. How feminine is it? The weapon in her hand, her tongue, her eyes, and she's naked. She's naked. Women are not to be seen naked. Kali is naked. And she has a freshly beheaded skull in her hands, and blood is dripping from it. You can only fall at the feet of Kali, right? She rides a lion. Women don't ride lions, do they? Women don't wear necklaces made of skulls, or do they? That's what happens when a woman drops her womanliness. Most women are contented to be objects of lust. They are contented with this much. They get a little bit of attention by being attractive, by being a woman, and that's it. That suffices the needs of their body. Enough. It is beyond them to think of Kali. You bring a Kali statue to a beauty pageant and see what happens. You say, this is a really, really beautiful woman, Kali. And see what happens. In India, you look at most of the depictions of deities, women as deities, they are always carrying a woman, a weapon. And they don't have a womanly look on their face. Their eyes pierce your mind. They are not seductive eyes. You stand in front of them and all your falseness is pierced. A Durga, a Chandi. A Mahishasur-Mardini. And mostly it is men that they are killing. The demon they are killing is a man. The woman becomes worthy of worship when she is no longer a woman. Or would you worship a deity acting coyly like your normal women aspiring to have a house, a husband, and 2 cute kids? Look at the face of a Ram or a Krishna. Don't you see the feminine present there? Look at their eyes. Look at their skin. Don't you see the feminine there? And these soft looking men beat absolutely masculine looking demons. You look at the face of an asur, it's very masculine. Absolutely masculine demon. And this feminine boy would defeat that ultra masculine asur. Strange is India. You have avatars, male avatars who look feminine, and you have devis who do not look feminine at all. And that has been the case always across the world.
Modern Devis are different, no?
They are asurs. A man who is a lot of man is an asur. A woman who is a lot of woman is a she asur. That is the definition of an asur. Masculinity taken to its extreme is evil. And that's what you do, right? You have your heroes who must be all beefed up and who must wear a very masculine expression. They cannot be gentle, tender, delicate. And you have women who must be so tender, so gentle, so delicate. You feel you touch them and they will break into pieces. So thin, so frail, size 0. Her weight, the entire weight of her body is less than the weight of his biceps. That is your modern model. He must have lots of weight here and there, and she must have no weight anywhere.